Well, hey everyone, welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. My name is Louie. Today we're going to do a little bit of a Crucible of War market update for you. I think later we will also have an Arcane Rising market update for you. Get ourselves back caught up and on track. We are going to change the format of these videos starting next week. Monday will be Tales of Aria, and on Mondays we will always do the most recent Flesh and Blood set. And then on Tuesdays we're going to alternate between Monarch and Crucible of War, and then on Wednesdays we'll alternate between Arcane Rising and WTR, and that'll allow us to kind of have Thursdays open, I think, for Metazoo and for some other collection tracker things I have in the work. The number of sets is just getting too many, and it's the only way to scale down and also keep the tracker updated. If you do want access to the collection tracker, head on over to patreon.com/KitchenTableTCG. Get yourself access to a collection tracker that updates whenever I do a video like this. Your prices on your tracker will automatically update. It's pretty cool. It also gets you access to a Midtown Merchant discount code of 10% off per month. One order. If you're not a patron, you can use the code BEKIND to save $10 off your order, or maybe it's $5 off your order of $50 or more. And then, it's just a great way to support the channel. You get access to a Discord server. It was fun to hang out with everybody from the Discord server this past week in Vegas. I'm still recovering from Vegas. I'm still very tired. Hopefully, we can get through this video with some energy and get going. So let's talk about Crucible of War. First off, let's talk about sealed boxes here. The sealed boxes are kind of doing some weird things. We had a sold listing of 710 this week, 740 this week, but then we also have the sold listing of 685. And this seller actually has multiple of them available, and he has already accepted an offer at 685. So we're starting to see some softness again in the Crucible of War. Now that being said, you've seen this number be very sideways for a while. So some small inflections based on the rest of the market, and everything on the market seems to be down this week. I don't know if it had something to do with Vegas, if it had something to do with the amount of people who were just distracted in Vegas and weren't buying cards on eBay TCG Player. A huge portion of our population went to Vegas and was gambling, maybe lost money. Who knows what happened. But we have a little bit of an inflection point in some of these cards. So right now we're down 9% to 725. Meanwhile, you can get your unlimited boxes now for $76 on TCG Player. If you are looking for boxes and you want to support the channel, go to cavdainsmarket.com, where I have cases at map as well. So all right, let's hop over and talk through the shard for a second. No current sales of a regular shard, no current sales of a cold foil shard this past week. But we did have the unlimited shard that has lost $30. That is now down to $200. So I just don't think people are interested in the shard right now. People are focused on the next set. The collector's market just isn't there. A lot of people already have them. The market's just not super interested in it. Let's talk about first edition. See, is it worth it to open up one of those boxes? Right now, Cheyenne is down a little bit. This actually isn't even sold listings. This is currently just she was listed for less than she had been selling for. So down to 2,500. We also had a 20 blade last week that sold for around $2,000 or 1,800. But now this week, the big information, the big news, the big thing to talk about is the crew neck, because it's kind of bizarre. But here's the 3 sold listings we have for a crew neck in the past week: 115, 200, and 449 for BGS 9. Now let's talk about the BGS 9. For a long time, people have said that BGS 9 is about the same value as a raw card, but things like this kind of make you wonder about that. So I ended up just going with this middle price because that seems like the safest one. You can pick and choose whatever you want to pick if you want to choose it. Let's talk about the majestic cold foils. Skullhorn, there was a sold listing of a Skullhorn for 420. But then there was currently one available for 385, so that's what that price point was. But 420, that's that price point even at the 385 is actually up 28%. We also had a Breeze Rider Boots that sold for 400. So you're starting to see some movement on some cards here. Meanwhile, Crater Fist is down $31 and Perch Grapplers is down $11. A lot of sideways energy. That's what you're going to hear for the next couple of weeks, I think, too. A lot of sideways movements on this Crucible stuff. We had this huge inflection point when the print run numbers were released. We had hard turn down right to the same number, and now we're just kind of seeing sideways energy like I've been talking about for the last couple weeks. Meanwhile, your rare cold foils down 16% to an average of $121. A big, huge portion of this, though, is in Centauri Saber, the reverse, which has been inflated, I think, a little bit. Bolton has the Saber build that I think maybe some people have been picking up Centauri Sabers for. That being said, this week we had a sold listing of $100 for this particular, the reverse version, which would be down 71%, but is also more of an accurate price based on the average of the rare cold foils. So nothing I don't think to worry about. I would actually guess that this Centauri Saber is more worth that price point as well. Although whatever people are willing to pay for it, it's the technical worth of it. But that's kind of why we're down 16% here to an average of 121. Also, Sledge Van Valheim down, Crater Fister down. Interesting to see two Guardian cards that are down. I think a lot of people were specking on Guardian stuff, and then it just didn't pan out with Oldham's build, which we will talk about right now as we talk about the Majestics. It'll actually be in the non-foil Majestics. I wanted to highlight, I missed a sale on the Spoils of War back in late August. There was a sale for like $65 or something like that. This week there's currently one listed for $60 for the Spoils of War Majestic Rainbow Foils. I apologize for missing that sale, but I've gone back through and updated the historic data, so it's now all accurate. Righteous Cleansing still kind of ticking up. That's kind of one of the bigger ones. Poison the Tips still kind of ticking up. The rest of them are kind of holding pretty much just the same. Everything's kind of just averaging out about the same. Interesting to see Righteous Cleansing going up and meanwhile some other Guardian stuff going down. Actually, let's go ahead. I've hinted at it enough. Let's go ahead and talk about Stamp Authority. So Stamp Authority, one of the cards that got bought out when we heard Guardian was going to be released. And now all of a sudden we're starting to see Stamp Authority price kind of drop pretty rapidly. There is a lot of first edition available. This guy's got 8 of them available. There's a decent amount of first edition currently available. This was a card that spiked up in price. It was a $45 card 2 or 3 weeks ago. It got bought out all the way up there, and now all of a sudden we're starting to see it tank in price. I just think that some people hopped in to invest, and then maybe that got cold feet, or they just stopped buying them. Anyway, it's back down to kind of where it was prior. Actually, it's back down a little bit below where it was before people started buying it up. Always funny to see that kind of stuff. That's contributing quite a bit, actually, though, to this kind of down 7% to an average of $24. Snag also going down a little bit. I think some of these non-foils are also due to the unlimited versions being more readily available, and that's why you see a deeper decrease in the regular than you do in the average foil price. All right, Rainbow Foil Rares, Marvin Skies, kind of back up. Keep in mind, I just use TCG low on these. Your average is $7.76. Not a lot to gain from this. Marvin Skies, though, still on the top 5 gainers list. All 3 versions on the top 5 gainers list. So, again, more and more people buying Marvin Skies still with chain builds. I also think that the regular Runeblade, the new Runeblade Briar might have something to do with that. So a lot of action on a lot of the Runeblade cards, which you will see when we talk about Unlimited as well. Let's go ahead and talk about Rainbow Foil Commons. Not anything huge to talk about. Your average is still about $2.50, and no major things to chat about. All right, let's hop over and talk about your first edition expected value per box. So right now, if you were to open up 40 boxes, you would not want to include the commons. You'd be sitting at $718 on average per box. If you only... Oh, something just changed while I was doing this. If you only opened up if you only up a case, that would be at $65, or sorry, $650. But if you only open up one box, kind of where your expected value would be is $537 per box. So this is kind of, again, like I would not, you could still get away with it though if you hit like a Majestic Cold Foil. See how much value the Majestic Cold Foil has. This is really like the legendary of the set in my mind. You know, like the legendary doesn't hold that much value. Because the odds of getting them are 1 in 10 here. So if you're able to open up a box and hit a Majestic, you're going to be sitting pretty good. The Majestic Cold Foil is kind of the way to go here. And that's really the biggest thing. So again, it's not worth it technically to open up a box, but if you do hit that, you will be at even, or probably more than even, which is, you know, it's definitely the safest gamble you have in first edition boxes. So, all right, let's hop into the Unlimited and see what is going on with Unlimited. There's a lot of interactions going on, a lot of things going on. It's good stuff to talk about. The Unlimited Legendaries aren't popping up here. Let me actually hop out of the full screen mode for you and show you what. Oh, they just got fixed while we're doing it. We're getting this fixed up while we're going. It's awesome. All right, perfect. So this is hilarious. My team's working behind the scenes and they're fixing while I'm doing the video. It's great. So the Tunic down to 132, which is down 5.5%. Cheyenne down to 97, which is down 14%. Again, this is to be expected. I actually still think the Tunic's probably only worth $75-$80. We'll see what happens. I just don't think it's worth 130. Especially when the Unlimited Tunic is basically from WTR is basically the same price. Yeah, those are the price points. All right, let's hop in and talk about Rainbow Foil Majestic. So this is what I wanted to talk about a little bit. You've got a lot of these Rainbow Foil Majestic Runeblade cards that are increasing in value. Again, I think while everything else is decreasing, and this averages, that's why I'm trying to get them to fix this up, but we'll see the averages as we get to the end of the video. We're still working on that. But all the other cards are losing value. Meanwhile, these Runeblade cards are gaining value. I think it has to do with Briar. Rattlebones is a very, very good card for Briar. Let's pop it up and show you. You banish something from your graveyard, you can play it this turn. If you've dealt arcane damage, which Briar does a lot of, you may play Rattlebones as for an instant, so you don't need the action point. This card is incredibly good in Briar, and I think that is one of the reasons why a lot of Runeblade stuff from Crucible is moving up. Runeblood Barrier, another card. I don't think Briar's going to utilize that, but Bloodsheath Skeleton, I do think Briar's going to be able to utilize. So a lot of interesting things going on. And meanwhile, everything else is losing value. So I would say that that's probably due to Briar. We'll talk about averages as we get towards the end of this video. Rattlebones, the regular Majestic version, still increasing in price too. Meanwhile, every other card is down. Every other card is down because it's a new print of a set. And so like we're just trying to average out and find the balance of our price points. Rainbow Foil Rares, you're seeing similar things, like everything's down. Again, it's no surprise here, like more and more boxes are being opened. Marvin Sky is down to $1.51, that's down 31%. Your average is just over $1, and your regular rares really don't have much value at all. Talking about your foil commons, though, you still have good value in these weapon slots. Again, they're down, everything is down, but you still have good value in them because they haven't been printed before and they're pretty cool. And a lot of people don't want to dig up the foil, the cold foil promos that are like $100 now. So this is a good alternative to for those people who can't afford them. You have some of the cards ticking up, but most of the stuff's going down. Your average then foil common is at 89 cents. Okay, first off, your average regular Majestic was down 39% this week. These are the things that didn't get calculated on the previous page. and your rainbow foil majestic is down 23%. All those calculations just gotta hit the right buttons to get them to appear on the page back there. They're all behind the scenes. It's just, you know, getting them shown to you guys. Anyway, this you can see everything's down about 30, 32, 33, 34%. If you are gonna open up 40 boxes, you can really expect, I think, around $105 per box. But meanwhile, if you're just going to open up one box, you don't want to include the Fable or the Legendary, you're sitting at $93 a box, which is still incredibly good. It's not as good as we were last week, where it was like almost doubling your money at buying at map. Again, the huge price point here comes with these Majestic regulars, and the Majestic regular was down 40% this week. Majestic Rainbow Foil, Majestic Regular, this is where your value is. In every other set, your value is in the legendaries, but here we have where the value is for Crucible is all in the Majestics, which is really great for the set because there's so many Majestics. It's going to be harder for this stuff to kind of tank and fall. That being said, it's still all a gamble. I think if you're going to open up anything, Crucible of War is the best thing to open right now. First edition to unlimited, it's definitely the best value. You can get boxes at map. You can get boxes pretty cheap for first edition too, comparatively, especially compared to the EV of what you get in a box. The thing is, you don't have the huge spike points either, other than hitting the Shard or Cheyenne, which is a pretty good spike point. You know, when you open up a $2,500 box of Arcane Rising First Edition, you have a chance at hitting the Eye, which is a much higher price point. So you do get what you gamble for. That being said, the safest bet right now seems to be Crucible. So that's the Crucible market update. Thank you guys for being on the channel. I know I'm tired and I'm not super exciting here, but I hope that you have yourselves a great day. Remember to be kind to the people around you. If you're looking for a way to support the channel or looking just for a way to track your collection, head on over to patreon.com/KitchenTableTCG. And once again, thank you so much for watching the videos. We'll see you again tomorrow.